44 of Ask Me Anything, and I'm the guy doing it, Mr. Milchev, aka Coach Presiam, Coach Prez. And what we do here, we talk about sport, football, martial arts, fitness, and then we talk about everything else, which is philosophy, physics, science, decision making, getting better, all that fun stuff. At least I find it fun. A lot of people find it a headache, but it is what it is. We move on. You cannot satisfy everyone in this life. Okay, so we have to take it for what it is. At the end of the day, if you don't enjoy this, don't watch. I'm not forcing anyone to be here. So, for the people that are going to be watching this after the live stream is ended, I'm going to do my best to put timestamps because we talk about so many things, so many different topics that maybe it's not everyone's cup of tea. But as much as it's not maybe the best thing, there is something for everyone. Okay, for the people that are going to be also watching after this is live has ended, I need about 5-10 minutes to really get going. We're already on 1 minute 40 and we're good to go now. We're good to go. My introduction is finished. Where's my Red Bull? My Red Bull is in my hand and now I can actually start. Perfect. Perfect. We're gonna start with last night's event. Okay, so I'm gonna spend a couple of minutes talking about the UFC last night. Why? Because I stayed up to watch it. It ruins my sleep every time there is a big event, so it deserves the time to it deserves at least a little bit of time if it's ruining my sleep consistently. So we had the main event. We had Sean O'Malley versus Merab Dvalishvili. Okay, Merab the Machine. He is a machine. He is a machine. What is interesting, obviously, for everyone that doesn't follow martial arts and MMA, it was the classic striker versus wrestler matchup. Okay. The interesting thing is in the lighter weight classes, being dominant with your grappling actually means more than in the heavier weight classes. Why? Because in the lighter weight classes, it is more difficult to knock someone out. As a general rule, there are exceptions, yes, but as a general rule, it is more difficult. Why? Because people are smaller, they have less power. In the heavier divisions, a striker can thrive a bit more easy, a bit easier for a striker to thrive in the heavier divisions. Why? Because power, bam, he's out. So Sean O'Malley, he's got that one punch KO power, but he couldn't get it. He got dominated too. First round was close, kind of, but Merab got it because he got the takedown. It's so difficult to stop the takedowns. And the other problem is, it's one thing to try and defend takedowns. It's completely different ball game when you know that the guy against you has had a fight with 49 takedown attempts. Okay, here we're talking about a gas tank that is something extraordinary. It's out of this world. Okay, for those that have never done anything like that, just attempting a single takedown against a resisting person is tiring. Imagine attempting 49. To give you an equivalent, roughly, imagine doing a burpee, but as you do it, someone is pulling you back with the resistance band. I would say this is kind of close. And imagine doing this 50 times. Okay. Now think about it. You can do it. One burpee is much easier, even when someone's pulling you with the resistance band. With the resistance band, it's much easier than actually going for a takedown. Someone holding you, pushing your head down, you know, at getting under hooks, squeezing your body, stuff like that, trying to push you off, moving, bouncing around. It's a insane level of fitness and of cardio. And Merab, the machine, that's his nickname. That's how he wins. He's not gonna knock anyone out. He doesn't have that type of power. He doesn't really submit people. He just takes them down, takes them down, takes them down, keeps them down. They get up. Guess what? Again, takedown. Oh, you failed the takedown? No problem. Again, again, again. So in the second round, actually, O'Malley defended all the takedowns. I don't think he got. I think it was the last couple of seconds maybe that Marab actually succeeded in taking him down, but he did nothing. So second round was 50-50. Maybe even O'Malley got the second round. And then third round, guess what? 1 minute in, boom. He's on his back. O'Malley, that is. So Marab got the takedown, and it's difficult. It's very difficult. And when you underestimate a wrestler's ability to submit you, which is probably what O'Malley did, he tried. Obviously, when you wrestle up, when you're on the ground and you're trying to kind of turn, you have to, a lot of the times it comes down to you taking a risk, which is you're gonna turn your back to the guy that is on top of you, so you can kind of um, get into almost like a turtle position, which is your hands and your knees are on the floor, and you're trying to build up to stand up. Okay, so while this is happening, there are times I can't exactly describe the situation, but basically you can kind of you can expose your neck, and he did, and Marab got him and submitted him, and that was that. But it's just O'Malley is the more technical. He's the clinical striker. He's younger, taller, more power, more technical. In the jiu-jitsu match, probably Marab beats him, but the wrestling, O'Malley defended really well. But it doesn't matter, you know why? Because as in any other sport, just some people, when they have these natural attributes, it's very difficult to overcome them. It's very difficult. Attributes are important, and it's important for you to use them to your advantage when you do sports, if you want to reach the highest level that you can. Okay, so he's got this insane cardio, and he uses it. He doesn't care. Oh, they're gonna defend 5 of my takedowns. I'm gonna look like an idiot. I'm shadow boxing half of the time. He's throwing punches that are like this, out of range, by that much. But he's just looking busy. You know, he doesn't care. He's like, just gonna go for it. Okay, you defended it. Sean O'Malley defended one of the takedowns. My issue is that Sean got so many title fights literally for free. It's best. Yeah, I didn't like this rematch anyway, to be fair. I, I I'm not a fan of Sean O'Malley, but I did bet on him last night. I thought Sean O'Malley was gonna get him. I thought maybe he can knock him out because he was healthy, and I was like, oof, maybe he's got that, but he didn't. He, I can't. I don't. Yeah, I don't like O'Malley. I don't like his hair. I don't like his face tattoos. I don't like his tattoos in general. I don't like that he's 5'11" and he fights at 135. Okay, so nothing about him I like, but I can appreciate his skill a little bit. And obviously, he's marketable for some reason. I don't like him, but he's marketable, whether I like him or not. So that's why he got the shots. I don't know. I hope he moves up to 145. What is there for him to do at 135? He's not. He's lost twice to Marab. They're not. There is no point giving him another chance. Marab is not losing the title anytime soon. I think just move up. Just move up. He's 5'11". He's tall. He's tall enough to be in the in maybe a lightweight even. So yeah, he just has to move up. I just don't. Yeah, I don't like it either. No one is beating. Moving up is the best idea I heard today. Yeah, he just has to move up. Why not? Just put a bit of muscle, and maybe he's scared he's gonna get taken down at 145. But there is a bit different. I don't know. Maybe O'Malley versus Volk is an interesting fight. Now maybe Evloev is gonna beat him, gonna take him down. Ragdoll, maybe I don't know, because you know what the thing is. None of these other wrestlers are like Marab. Evloev, I haven't watched. I've watched like one or two of his fights, but Evloev, he doesn't have the same gas tank. Like no one has the same gas tank as Merab. Okay, so if O'Malley manages to defend a takedown or two, even at 145, the other guy is probably gonna get a bit tired. Whereas Merab, you defend the takedown, oh, the next one is coming in 10 seconds. You defend another takedown, doesn't matter. The takedowns are going to keep coming. In 145, you defend the takedown, maybe they get discouraged. And then maybe you can do damage standing. So I think he should just move up. There is nothing. Who's going to fight? Who is he going to fight? No one. There is no one to fight. Boring matches. Yeah, just go up. That's that. Leave that freak of nature. Stay away from him. He's already beaten you twice. Why did I bet on O'Malley though? You know why? Because he didn't dye his hair. So I was like, okay, you don't have the pink hair. You look like you've grown up a bit. You almost look like a man. So I was like, maybe this time, maybe you can win. I'll bet on you. I bet on him, and guess what he does? He comes out wearing pink shorts. And I was like, I knew I've lost my bet as soon as he walked out with the pink shorts. I don't even know what was I thinking. I just watched the last fight and I saw he's got, O'Malley's he hurt him a couple of times to the body. I was like, oh, he's gonna manage to hurt him early and maybe get something, but he couldn't. He couldn't. Why do he snapped my streak? Normally I always, my success with bets on the UFC is quite high. At one point, I don't know why I'm spending so much time on the UFC, where literally I don't like O'Malley and Merab. I don't really care about Merab. But anyway, I had a 7-bet winning streak. Okay, 7 bets. So imagine 7 different events. Kayla Harrison was a highlight. Kayla Harrison, yeah, but everyone knew that was gonna happen. That was the most obvious thing ever. Of course, she's too physical. That's the same thing. She's too strong. When your attributes are too overwhelming, you can your attributes as an athlete can make up for a lot of holes in your game or weaknesses. It's the same in football with Mbappe. I almost mention him every week, I feel like, because he's so quick. He's this quick. He's insanely quick. Doesn't matter. The other stuff doesn't matter as much. Oh, he is not really a good playmaker. Doesn't matter. Is he the best dribbler, most technical dribbler? Doesn't matter. It's the same with this. Marab, does he have to be the most technical and the best takedown artist ever? No. You know why? Because he's gonna go for about 20 takedowns, and he only needs to get two. So yeah, same with Kayla. She's so he she's so strong, and that judo background. With judo, if you get close to these judokas, you, you're gonna find yourself flying in the air. So and even knowing that the other guy, knowing that your opponent has a serious takedown threat, okay, this is very stressful for you. And think about this. Obviously, this is my experience as well. When I know that I'm the striker and the other guy is like wants to take me down, what do I do? What do I want to do naturally? I want to keep my distance. I want to keep my distance. But when you want to keep your distance, it's difficult to hold the center of the cage as well. And it's difficult to move forward if you want to keep your distance. You know why? Because if the other guy wants to take you down, last UFC question by me, would you like to would like to hear your opinion about the state of the heavyweight division? I missed it. I couldn't finish reading it. And now it's disappeared. The state of the heavyweight division. But I didn't see the second part of the question because it disappeared because I'm still a cowboy podcaster. I'm doing it from my phone, so it just disappears. Once it's disappeared, it's disappeared. Send the second half again if you want. If not, I'm just gonna answer whatever I read. The heavyweight division. I just want to see some fights. I just want to see people fighting. In the heavyweight division, everyone is kind of boring, to be honest. I don't like any of the heavyweights. You have to have a little bit of personality. Or I like fighters that are stylish. Okay, I like stylish fighters. You have to have and I like fighters that move well. You have to have something about you. Like, I don't mind watching Cyril Gunn, but then his last performance was shocking. And then if he fights Tom Aspinall, he's gonna get smashed. I'm pretty sure. Just strip John Jones. If he's not gonna fight, just strip him and move on. I don't even. The weird thing is, I'm pissed off at John Jones because he doesn't want to fight. Obviously, I understand him not wanting to fight. It's fine. I don't have a problem with it. But just you know, just my guess is that Aspinall is a sealed deal. I think so. I think I think they're gonna do it. I think they on purpose are downplaying it now, are trying to make it seem as if it's nothing. And now it's not happening. John Jones is retired. She is secretly training, and then all of a sudden, probably after International Fight Week, after Topuria knocks out Oliveira in the post-fight press conference, then what is going to say? John Jones versus Tom Aspinall, November 9th, Madison Square Garden, or something like this. And I think that's what they're going to do. I hope they do it. The thing is, I'm pissed off at John Jones because he doesn't want to fight and he's being wasting so much time. But then at the same time, I feel like if he fights Aspinall, I'm gonna. If he fights Aspinall, I'd want John Jones to win. I just can't. I don't know if I'm ready to accept Tom Aspinall being the person that beats John Jones. You like Tupor is my favorite fighter. He's good. He's good. I don't like his style. Me personally, I like a more almost like traditional martial or a bit more. It's too boxing heavy. If I want to watch boxing, I just watch boxing. His style, yeah, it's just too. boxing centric. So I like people that move. I'll give you my favorite fighters. Obviously, people that can move and that can mix it up. And another thing, I'm not a big fan of overhand rights. Same thing. Jones fans since forever would not accept him when losing by the younger guy. Is that a real statistic? Is it 75% of the fights are won by the younger guy? Is it? And also, I need to improve. I have to read these comments out loud because then everyone else watching this after is gonna be like, "Who is he? What is he responding to?" Because I just basically respond. But yeah, my favorite fighters, all time. Let's go probably all time. George St. Pierre. His fighting style is good. He's actually good. George St. Pierre. Obviously, McGregor. Obviously, I don't think there is a person on the planet that does not have McGregor in his favorite fighters. Um, Alex Pereira. Obviously, I'm very devastated by his loss. He was very frustrating to watch. I know your favorite one is GSP. You told me personally around 10 years ago. Yeah, but that was 10 years ago. Okay. So George St. Pierre, Alex Pereira, McGregor is up there. I like from current fighters. I really like Wonder Boy. I like Dan Hooker and Mauricio Ruffi. Mauricio Ruffi is probably I really like Ruffi. I really like. He's got probably the most aesthetically pleasing style I've seen. The way just he's like the Conor McGregor 2.0. He's perfected almost everything, and he's got the style as well. He's stylish. Okay, you look at the way he moves. Even you look at his tattoos. Okay, are they my cup of tea? No, but there is something. Who has a tattoo of a skull with a crown? I think this big on his back. No one. So he's a very unique guy, and the way he moves, everything is full power. His footwork is good. It's just everything. I like him so much. Yeah. So I like him, Rufi, Dan Hooker. I like Yuri as well, Yuri Prochaska. I like him. I don't necessarily like his style, but I like him. I like his personality. So if he fights, I'm watching. Who else do I like? I like Islam. Islam is funny, and he's just very good. He's so good. It's so enjoyable to watch Islam. He's just good. Everything is good. Takedowns, submission. He's entertaining. His striking is good as well. What a fight! Yeah, and that's it. You can see I'm not really a big fan of the lighter weight classes because when I watch them, most of the time when I'm watching a fight, okay, because I've been watching a lot of fights. I had a period of probably 6 to 8 months that what I will do every night is on UFC Fight Pass watching fights. Oh, Darren Till, I forgot Darren Till. Darren Till is in my top 5 favorite fighters as well. Darren Till, the most beautiful left hand there is, up there with McGregor. McGregor and Darren Till are up there for the most beautiful left hand there is. It's just perfect. It's so accurate, so sharp, just beautiful. But yeah, I think these are my. I think that's it. If you don't have any questions, we can move on. Actually, I had a whole topic to be honest for today based on my notes as I did last week. But last week we had a very um, high pace podcast um, that had a lot of questions in it, which normally me being always prepared for the worst case scenario. I expect no questions. So I come up here, put obviously press play, expecting no questions. So expecting that I'll have to just talk non-stop for, let's say, an hour and something, and I've been successful doing that for about 35 episodes. So unless we have any more questions, I can move on because I have things to say. Questions about sport, or 25 minutes in, we can ask questions about anything else as well. So because I feel like originally the plan for this podcast was, I know you spot, but have you tried BJJ? I just love grappling. I know you've sparred, but what do you mean? I know you've sparred, but you like BJJ? I started with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Okay, for a bit, for the first couple of months, like on and off, once a week. Then I added boxing. Okay, so I was doing mostly grappling and boxing, but grappling, no wrestling, literally no takedowns, just ground stuff. Okay, and a bit of boxing. Yeah, what would I? You can't really put grappling videos. First of all, because I wouldn't really, I wouldn't really post sparring videos, because it's not ethical. It's not a good thing to do. But I can't. What can I do with grappling? You need someone. I can't just do grappling without opponent. Grappling pads. There is no such thing. Whereas striking, and it's more fun, it's more entertaining to watch. I can put pads, pad work. So but yeah, I only started. I was originally I was contemplating whether I should do. I was like, I have to get a black belt in something. But obviously, me being the way I am, I always have to go for whatever is the most efficient and best and everything, so I can answer all types of questions and justify it properly. I was like, should I do jujitsu? And then you start justifying everything. Every street fight ends up on the ground and all that rubbish that every jiu-jitsu guy says. I was like, yeah, I'll just do jiu-jitsu, no brain damage, blah, 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 grapple, I'll get black belt. Just because, yeah, I need. Then I was like, do jiu-jitsu, but then no striking, being unable to strike. That seems like a big gap. Seems like a whole world that you're unfamiliar with. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do MMA. There is no black belts in MMA. But I was like, fuck it, because I like that traditional aspect of martial arts. I'm not really a fan of fighting. I've never been. I'm not a fan. I don't like fighting. But I like martial arts. I like everything to do with martial arts. I like the discipline. I like obviously the mindset that you need to have. There is almost like an element of philosophical element. I like all that. I was like jiu-jitsu, black belt. But then it has to be MMA. MMA is the most complete. We can even consider MMA its own martial art. Okay, a separate sport. MMA is not a. It's not a combination of all sports. We can consider MMA as a sport in of itself. It's the sport of fighting, you could say. Just one martial art. So I was like, I have to do the most complete one. I can't have holes in my game. I couldn't accept the idea of being incompetent in any of these disciplines. Because let's say you start doing grappling and someone comes and says, "Yeah, boy, fought, yeah, but one punch, yeah, you're finished." So I couldn't accept this, or the opposite. let's say you do boxing, but then you have no clue about what's happening on the ground, and you can get folded like a pretzel. So you can't really do this as well. So I was like, okay, just MMA, and that's how I started because it's the most complete. But originally it was first a bit of grappling, then I started a little bit of striking, throw a couple of kicks, a couple of punches. Then I went to a different gym. So I was going to two gyms. One was more jiu-jitsu based. One of the most dedicated guys I've ever known. I've given you as an example for. Again, I could. Why do they disappear so quickly? These chats. For fuck's sake. I read it though. I read it. Thank you. I appreciate this. I really appreciate this. Yeah. Basically, for all the people watching this after the live stream is done, he was saying I was one of the most dedicated and disciplined guys. Now I'm getting a heart. So one of the most dedicated and disciplined guys Philip has ever known have been given as an example. Blah blah blah. So everyone else that's listening, make sure you okay. What do you say about this? But anyway, yeah, thanks. I do appreciate that. Yeah. Uh, where was I? Yeah, so I started a little bit of grappling. Then let's add boxing. Let me fix my striking a little bit. Add boxing. Okay. As soon as I kind of started getting understanding it a bit better, it's obviously footwork, how to throw the punches, boom, 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 how to keep your balance, because that's a big thing. Everyone, not everyone, but almost everyone can punch. You know, almost everyone. At least I think everyone can punch. Everyone can, on these punching machines, everyone can throw a big overhand, almost. But to be able to box, to be able to put three punches together is a different thing, and not look like a moron. That's difficult. Okay, you have to have balance. You need to know where to put your weight, how to turn your hips, all that sort of stuff. So once I started getting this, I was like, okay, what's the next? The next thing is I don't like the idea of getting kicked. Punched, fine. Choked in a non-gay way. Okay, that's fine. Submitted and all that stuff. All right, it's fine. But kicked, I was like, oh. So I was like, okay, next step, find a Muay Thai gym, go there. This is what I don't like, so this is where I have to go. It's such a mental journey. Just as soon as I would get comfortable with any of these martial arts, I'm like, what is the next thing that is gonna make me uncomfortable? Let's go and do that. It sounds like I'm trying to be one of these self-help motivational speakers, but it's just I'm just being honest about what I was doing. I haven't been on Instagram showing every step of the way. I have been putting here and there some things, but it was tough. But I knew I was like, I was a man on a mission. Like, okay, what is the next most uncomfortable thing? And it was almost as soon as I get comfortable, but I will have to be very honest with myself, and I was, and I'm happy, and I'm thankful to myself for doing this. I'm very grateful for what I was able to do 2 years ago, because it's difficult. Yeah, that's why I asked. I was curious. I always looked at you as a soccer guy, man. Soccer. What is soccer, man? It's called football. Okay, people call this football. Only Americans say soccer. I am a soccer football. I am a football person. Um, but now, football is still the main thing. I still know more about football than probably anything else. Um, I can talk about football forever. But my thought process was, I'm not changing my goal. My goal stays the same. Okay, become one of the greatest coaches of all time. Conservative. Okay, this is my conservative goal. Top 3 of all time. And it's in my head, it's almost 100% guaranteed. This is gonna happen. It's just gonna happen. I know. We should all know. It's fine. But to get to a place where most people can't or wouldn't be able to get to, you have to do things that most other people wouldn't do. Now, me doing all these supposedly side quests, for a lot of people, sounds like he's lost focus. Okay, he's not. His dedication is questionable, but it's not. I do all these things with a purpose. Why? Because you can know all there is to know about football. To be a coach, to be a manager, you need to understand people. To understand other people, you have to understand yourself. Very few people understand themselves, and not just understand, know themselves. To know yourself, but truly to know yourself, you have to. How do you know yourself? There has to be a challenge, and you have to see what you're made of. You have to put yourself in positions that would test you. Testing is required. If you don't test, then you don't know. I think I'm this, but I don't know it for a fact. I have to test it. Confidence comes from successfully passing these tests that you put yourself through. So me going out of my way, doing all these combat sports, martial arts, challenging myself so much, it was with a purpose. I wanted to find out things about myself. Okay, I always know I'm a fighter and blah 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 blah, and I'm a really tough guy. I can't be broken. All these things I've always said them about myself, but then I'm not really a guy that fights. So okay, the thing that I dislike the most and I would never do, okay, I have to put myself there. If I am what I think I am and what I say I am, I'll be okay. How about it's so uncomfortable, but how are you gonna start at 24? Or was I 24? Yeah, 24. Well, you have to start. You have to do this and kind of swallow your ego and whatever, go to the gym and show up and learn. Yeah. So it's tough, but I learn things about myself. Also, imagine this. Inevitably, my credentials are gonna be questioned as a football coach. Let's say imagine in 3 years' time, I'm 20, I'm gonna be 30. Fuck. I'm old. No white hairs though. My hairline is intact as well. Still just as good looking as when I was 24. Doesn't matter. Anyway, in 3 years' time, I'm 30, let's say. And all of a sudden, magically, just this is just hypothetical, just thought experiment. I'm a coach, men's team coach. There are 5 or 6 players that are older than me. Okay, the players that are younger than me are like, "What have you done, mate? Right? You've never played professionally. What are you talking? What do you know?" And the vets, they're gonna be like, "You're younger than me and you've never played professionally. What are you gonna teach me?" So it's difficult to the respect, the authority. Where is it gonna come from? Well, open brackets now. Now my ace that I was holding up my sleeve the whole time comes into play. Like, okay, I can beat you up if I wanted to. I'm a trained martial artist. So you better listen to me. And you can kind of get in their face. Because you don't care. Because you're like, you're just a football player. I'm a martial artist. You know how many times tougher than you I am? Do you know? Is that this is my genius plan. This is just obviously just one side of it. But it is real. It is real. People act a bit different around other people when they know that they can get beat up. It's not that it's ever gonna happen, but it's just a bit different. I personally think this. And I think there are many examples of exactly what I'm saying. So I was like, that kind of makes sense. But also, the other aspect, the more intellectual aspect is, I go away and I examine different sports, which is very important. And then the knowledge that you've gained, that you've acquired from a different discipline, can you use this knowledge and apply it to your field? Okay. I actually read a book. It was called Range. Okay. The subtitle, I think, was Why Generalists Dominate in a World Full of Specialists. Okay. And the basic premise of the book was this: it's good to specialize in certain things, but stepping outside your comfort zone and your main field of expertise is very beneficial. It's very good to do multiple things, because then it's all about how you interpret the knowledge and put it into what you do. That other stuff, it can make you more creative. Your problem solving is improved significantly. Okay, you're challenging your brain with new concepts, different ways of thinking. You're not that close-minded. You don't have this. You do. All of a sudden you can see, because I've a lot of people that live in the football world or in whatever world they are in. They think that's all that there is. They intellectually they know there's other things, but it feels like, yeah, that's just out there. It's like people that have never been to America. I know America exists, but it's like, I don't exactly know what Americans are like, you know. Like, yeah, it exists. They're all just a bit strange, but they are what they are. You haven't experienced it, but it's the same thing. I'm looking for a very specific word. It's the interface. It's not the interface. I'll remember it by the end. But yeah, if anyone's looking for a book recommendation, read that book, Range. Why Generalists Succeed in a World Full of Specialists, something along these lines. But the title is Range, and it's good. And I read this book right after I finished the book that was called, I'm pretty sure, Bounce by Matthew Syed or something like that was his surname. And he was talking about the 10,000 hours. 10,000 hours, because this is well known and supposedly well researched. I personally subscribe to this idea of subscribed past tense. Maybe I still do to a certain extent. It's still a good guide. The basic premise is you need 10,000 hours to become an expert in any given area. Okay. Let's say you want to be a football player, you want to lead, you want to reach elite level. You need 10,000 hours of intentional practice to become elite, to become an expert. Okay. And then you start do the maths. Okay. Do the maths. Let's say you spend 10 hours a week doing something, okay, that's going to be 500 hours a year. And then you need 20 years to reach your 10,000 hours. So let's say I play football for 10 hours a week from the age of 5 till the age of 20, 25. I'm going to be like, done my hours. But if that, we're talking every single week for the maths to work out. And that was widely accepted. I've read it in a couple of books, because obviously I'm like, you know what's funny? When I walk into a bookshop, I'm like, I look, we go to you go to that smart thinking section or self-help section. I go there, I'm like, I've read this, I've read this, I've read this, I've read this, I've read this. One day I will go into a bookstore, take my phone out, and take a picture of every shelf and put on my story. It just ticks on every book that I've read. That would be the most. Is it toxic? Is it bragging? I don't know. I really want to do it one day, because I've read so many. There is not. I struggle to find a shelf now without a book that I've read, and it's a really cool feeling. I feel like I'm a master in there. I feel like what all these other peasants doing in this shop. And Siri, shut the fuck up, mate. Siri is talking back to me. I think he's trying to tell me to be humble. I will be humble after I finish my sentence, because I have to try and communicate this. It's so fun. Can you imagine? You walk into a bookshop, and I look around and I'm like, who here has read more than me? And in my head, the answer is no one. Because I look around and all I see is books that I've read, literally. Especially when we, like, people that go into the fiction sections. I'm like, look at this guy. He's funny. What a clown. What a waste of time. And then I proceed to walk to the comic book section and buy a comic book. No, that's a bit out of context. It happens sometimes, though. I do like comic books. But I go to the non-fiction or philosophy, and when we get to these shelves, this is where I dominate. That's where you men are. To be fair, they're always empty. And I have a real problem with bookstores that don't have enough philosophy. Ask me when was the last time I was in a bookstore? Oh, thanks for asking. It was on Friday. The way this bookstore was set up, it was like by countries: Greece, Italy, France, Britain. Then you have history, fiction, this, that, the other. Okay, all right. Smart thinking, my favorite section. Business or management, all about business management, smart thinking, and self-help. These sections, I've finished them. I've read all the books from there. To be fair, um, to a point where it kind of starts getting repetitive. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I've seen all these. I've seen all. Yeah, that's fine. Let's go to Greece. Let's see if they have Aristotle and Plato. They should. If they have a section that is called Greece, they have to have philosophy. Guess what? I go there, and all they had was Plato, the Republic. Greece section. Greece. I'm thinking, oh, that seems like a nice bookstore. Seems good. They will have at least a couple of Aristotle's or Plato. They should have most, you know. I go there, nothing. I go to Italy. One book from Seneca. They they didn't even have Marcus Aurelius's uh, meditations. Can you imagine? So even now I get mildly frustrated thinking about this. Is it the bookstore's fault, or is it the consumer's fault? So of course they're gonna put out what people buy, more or less, more or less. And then I get annoyed with people. Why don't people read philosophy? Everyone should have read at least a little bit. Everyone should have a fundamental understanding of what these guys have said. I have a big problem with this. And you can bet everything you own, because I'll bet everything I own. Whenever my voice is, whenever it's time for my voice to be heard, let's say I achieve something more significant, and there is time for me to do an interview or whatever, you can bet everything you own. So, as I said, I bet everything I own. I'm telling you now, you're getting a exclusive first. You hear this first. I am saying people should read. I'm gonna go on this big rant about people not reading books and not studying philosophy, and that is one of the most important things they can do. And why we blah blah blah, blah. All of that, I'll do it 1,000,000%. Imagine this scenario: is post match, and my team, let's say it's my first game for a big club. Post game, they ask me a question about football, and I'm good at spinning stuff. You can ask me a question about butterflies, and I can end up talking about chocolate. I'm I'm okay. This skill is kind of developed. The politician skill. They'll ask me any question, and I'll spin it immediately and start my philosophy rant. I'm gonna talk about this so much to the point where potentially I still haven't finished my PR grand master plan. Um, I will be there talking about philosophy a lot, because people have to. You have to read philosophy. You have to read philosophy. Don't even get me started on physics, because I can even go as far as to say people have to read physics as well. Everyone should read physics, at least 2 books about physics, so you have like a fundamental understanding um, of the cosmos, of space. You have to, because if you don't have this, I don't believe that you can realistically. I don't think you can have a realistic idea about religion, if you believe in God or not. I don't think you can have a realistic idea of God. I think it's just uninformed. What everyone understands by God, okay. Is it a individual thing? Yes, that's correct. But I think once you understand space, it changes. I think. Maybe it's just me. That's just a this is just an opinion here. I also think to develop your relationship with God, let's say you are religious. Well, I don't know why I'm assuming that people are religious. You know why? Because I don't want to be. I have certain level of respect towards religion. I don't want to be disrespectful towards religion. That's why. Am I religious? Not really, but I would say I live a very religious life. The way I conduct myself, my principles and everything. I would say my life is very religious. Anyway, that doesn't matter. But I assume everyone is religious just so I can keep my respectful tone. And you know why? Because you know what else? As a generalization, it's probably better to be a religious than non-religious. The majority of people that say they're not religious are idiots. The majority of people that are religious are also idiots. But the difference is, religious people, they kind of throw their hands and say, I just don't know, man, that there is God, and I just believe in God. They can't answer the difficult questions. They don't even want to. Okay, they're okay being kind of you know, I don't know, incompetent, whatever you want to call it. Just not knowing what's happening, they just go with the flow, whatever. But these guys, the majority, 99% of non-religious people, they're also not very bright. I've become so nice. Why am I so nice? They're also stupid for the majority. But the difference is they think they know something. They're gonna give you some, funny in their own heads argument or justification. Oh, why God doesn't exist? But they still don't know anything. But think they th- they think they're smarter than they are, as a general rule. That's my belief. Stupid here for the majority. But at the same time, is this me being harsh or arrogant? You could say that. The reality is, this is just how I talk. Okay, it's not me looking down on people. It's just my, not disappointment, but there is a certain level of disappointment in my speech. Most people are, I see them like, you're a bit dull. It, I think, can we all say, just so I can kind of make sure I exit this discussion, that I don't know how I even got here. Jesus Christ. So I'm safe. All this is fueled by my ultimate disappointment in people, or at least the majority. Now, does it keep me up at night? No. But is there this underlining sense of just disappointment in with people? Yes, of course. Maybe it's my fault. Maybe I had my standards were too high. And I've always refused to lower my standards. I still do. That often means that you're going to suffer the consequences. When you don't want to lower your standards, the person that ends up suffering is you. But then you have to ask yourself the question, what is worth suffering for? Do you know the answer to this question, to this personal question? I personally don't, I know the answer for myself. My standards, yes, they are worth suffering for. I believe. So I just take it. Okay, it is what it is. I'll take it. But I'm not gonna lower my standards. There are standards. People have become too comfortable accepting things that are not acceptable. I can't be a part of this. I don't want to. It's just not. It's not happening. I can pay for it my whole life. Don't care. But when I die, whoever remembers me is going to be able to say, this man had standards. He refused to compromise his integrity to in order to be accepted or to gain in any shape or form or whatever. And I'll be very happy with this. I'll die at peace knowing that this can be said about me. I'll die happy if this can be said about me. So, no problem with me. And I even had this as one of my notes. I just naturally drifted somewhere. One of my notes that I take throughout the week, which was, it's like, this is part of the reason why I just don't like, no, that I don't really talk or don't really like talking to adults. Just the communication with the majority. Adults don't want to change. They don't want to improve. They don't believe in anything. The majority of people don't believe in anything. They don't have anything about them that is interesting or that is attractive. Let's say attractive, not in a not in a sexual way or whatever way you want to call it, not in a relationship type of way, but attractive in terms, this quality is attractive. This is good. I want to be associated with this in that type of way. Whereas children, when I communicate with children or the kids that I coach or whatever, there is still something about them. There is kind of this sparkle, glitter in their eyes, whatever you want to call it. That is good. There is hope there. There is hope for the future. They believe in things still. And this is very beautiful to be a part of. To talk to someone that has that thing in them, that they haven't lost it yet, compared to talking to another one. They're so cynical. They don't want to do anything. They're just looking for whatever is the easiest way out. I want the easiest way out. Wherever is the easiest way to the going forward, I want this. Wherever is the easiest way to making more money, I want this. Or just all that stuff. Whereas children, they believe. You tell them you have to be a better person. It's important to be good. They'll be like, yeah, I have to be good. And maybe they end up being good. This is such a some of the most beautiful moments are there when you're with children. And when you see that you've done something that can potentially have a positive impact on their future. This is one of the best things ever. I went off on such a big rant. It is what it is. It is what it is. 62 minutes in, what's the time? Yeah. And I'll finish on this. Unless we get any questions, which we haven't had any questions. This means probably my my monologue was beautifully put or shaped. Do I have any Red Bull left? This is perfect. That's probably my last 1 or 2 sips of Red Bull. But yeah, all the things that I just said. Seems like I've got like a mini therapy session. Maybe it is a therapy session. I don't know. Why am I doing this? Because I'm not forcing anyone to listen to what I have to say. If people want to listen to this type of stuff, they can. But imagine me saying this to other people. It's difficult. Because who am I gonna find and go and talk to and tell him all that stuff? And they're gonna be able to take it in and kind of accept it in a good way. Because is my speech, is there part judgment in it? Maybe. But the thing is, in order for me to say something, to say this to someone in person, or like in a one-to-one conversation, they have to be a certain standard. I was talking about standards. If they don't meet all the things that I was talking about, they're gonna take it as a shot, as me taking a shot towards them. That makes sense? That makes it difficult. So that's why I decided I'm just gonna do my podcast. I'm gonna say what I need to say. If anyone wants to listen to it, that's fine. If no one wants to listen to this, that's also fine, not a problem. So yeah, that was one of the driving forces behind me doing this. But yeah, so listen to this final. So I've been working for Chelsea now for how many weeks? 2-3 weeks. The quote I spam the most. And I'll continue saying this for the rest of my life probably. Thank you for your time, the personal back and forth. Wish you a successful week ahead. Keep on inspiring both the younger and the older. Thank you, Philip. I do appreciate this. So I'll leave with this. The quote that I spam every week, every single session. When the kids, because they're kids, maybe misbehave or whatever. And I have to remind them. I go, see this? That badge, this here is Chelsea. Okay? This is Chelsea. there is a certain standard that needs to be met. Okay, there is a certain standard of behavior and effort that has to be met here, because this means something. Okay, you don't have to be here. Okay? No one is forcing you to be here. If you want to be here, you have to live up to a certain level of skill, behavior. That's my standard speech about standard. Ask me how many sessions have I skipped this? 0. Every single session. Every single session. And you know this. I actually have my. You know, there's a certain standard that needs to be met. Okay? There are standards. And we should not lower our standards for other people. The majority of cases. High standards are important and must be kept. Standards are worth suffering for. That's one of the few things that is actually worth suffering for. That's it. That's the end of my podcast today, I think. Yeah, because I have to go. And today's Sunday. We have to attack next week with intensity. And yeah, I've been having fun with my new 16-hour kind of workday schedule almost. Not 16, but let's say 15. And I still do this because I want to. Anyway, regardless, thank you for watching, listening, commenting, and everything else. I do appreciate it. And I'll see you again with 45 next week. And we're finished. Goodbye.